One of my favorite run concepts, regardless of what level of football we're talking about, high school, youth, college, or the NFL, is trap. There's a slightly different version of it. It's run out of the shotgun, but you're still trapping a defensive tackle. In this case, it's a guy spot shadowed here at the bottom of the screen. I think this is 2022 film of the Chargers against the Jets. The left guard is going to pull and kick defensive tackle out. Additional to that, you've got this influence nature of it. I think it's Joe Kelly here with a badass hurdle at the third level of the defense. But in the influence nature, they're trying to make it look like it's going to be a down block by this tackle, and then the frontside guard pulling and possibly kicking out off tackle. But it's not what's happening. The tackle is faking like it's a down block. So he's just touching, making contact with the defensive tackle such that he'll expand possibly, and in this case, get trapped by the other guard. In this case, it's the left guard trap concept, essentially trying to fool you as a defensive tackle into running upfield and or widen you up with the influence nature and then trap you or kick you out with a guard emanating from the other side of the field. This one's not an influence variation. It's 2023 film Lions against the Raiders. Going to be called hold or slash face mask, I should say, on Robert Spillane. No influence here, although the guard is swimming the defensive tackle, and then Sewell, the right tackle, is stepping to him, make it look like he's going to down block him, and then deftly stepping away. You can see Sewell getting his left leg out of the way, working up to the inside linebacker level. Really, the guard, the left guard, in this case 74, doesn't really have to do much to kick out this defensive tackle. Spillane was called for a face mask there. I don't know that he really grabbed a face mask. I think he grabbed jersey slash hair or maybe both. In any case, guys like Jahmyr Gibbs, perfectly suited for trap concept out of the shotgun because he gets there so quick at the line of scrimmage. The Lions, I think, really popularized usage of the trap concept, at least for my awareness level, 2023, 2022 as well under Ben Johnson. Not that there aren't other teams that run it. The Ravens do as well, among others. I think Ben Johnson's offense kind of opened the door for people to run it. Now, nobody's crazy enough to do it like this. 2023 on the road against the Chargers. Uh, 4th and 5, running a trap concept with David Montgomery. The defensive tackle was showing extremely high awareness here, if you ask me. Somewhat similar run blocking scheme, except this guard isn't nearly threatened by the defensive tackle in the same manner as that Raiders defensive tackle did. Great recognition, and he's doing what I would call, or he's trying to do, trap the trapper. So trap concept is designed to kick out the defensive tackle such that the running back can run underneath of that kick out block. Very similar to what you saw Kelly on the first play and then Jahmyr Gibbs do on the previous one. However, here the defensive tackle is going underneath of that kick out block or trying to. Not really getting there. We call it trap the trapper. So instead of allowing the trapper to kick you out, wrong arm it and force the running back to widen up a gap, essentially bounce over the top of that potential kick out block by the left guard, in this case 73. Now Montgomery, and then with help from his teammates, is actually able to convert this. Like I said, who runs on the ball on 4th and 5? Nobody. Who runs the ball on Who runs the ball on 3rd and 5? Nobody. Who runs the ball on 4th and 5? Damn sure nobody. Who runs trap on 4th and 5? Only one person that I know of, and that's Ben Johnson. I want to go back to the all 22 angle for a moment. There's the defensive tackle. Just so you can see the way that this works out, it's run into the boundary. You do have a man structure here by the safety. I think it's Derwin James. And he's man up on the tight end. The tight end step into the edge defender, try to occupy him. And as a result, both the edge defender and the defensive back assigned to guard Sam Laporta step away from the point of attack for a moment. And that just kind of widens that gap available. It was ruled to be enough yards for the first down. Here is Derwin James on Laporta. Laporta's, however, going to step to the outside linebacker, Khalil Mack. And both of those guys are momentarily occupied, such that when Montgomery bounces it, which is a successful application of the trapper concept, those two guys, Derwin James and Khalil Mack, are widened up too much to be able to stop David Montgomery before he gets 5 yards. Hopefully I explained that in a way that makes sense. The trapper concept is something that most levels of football or force their defensive tackles to be extremely proficient at before they can really even get on the field. Here's a really great example of the trapper concept from a defensive tackle standpoint. 2023 film, Seahawks at San Francisco. That defensive tackle who spot shadowed, look at how he digs underneath of this trap block and really destroys the scheme. Kenneth Walker III is trying to get down the midline and then veer off of the series of down blocks from a trap concept and inside of that kick out block. I will give you the end zone angle so you can see it. But that defensive tackle, 90, has dipped underneath of it. Great recognition here, if you ask me, to trap the trapper and destroy the scheme. Not that there aren't other issues as well. I think it's Chase Young who's totally unblocked, but end zone angle, same play. There's the defensive tackle who's being trapped. The concept is the center is going to down block the backside shade or nose tackle, or in this case, it appears to be in like a 2-eye. And then the left guard is going to pull and kick out the defensive end who was spot shadowed. But unfortunately for the Seahawks, the midline isn't clear. The center just can't get this defensive tackle moved enough off the midline such that Kenneth Walker III actually runs directly into the backside of the center. He just can't get him off the midline enough. That, along with the trap the trapper technique by the defensive tackle, 90, means there really is no gap or no seam running lane to go through. Kenneth Walker III gets tackled by first the defensive tackle and then Chase Young, who was unblocked on the play. Shotgun version with a little bit of a variation. I've actually covered this in a couple of videos. One about Derrick Henry, one about Jahmyr Gibbs. I think this is a beautiful football play. It's perfect out of the shotgun, but you can really only run it when the tight end is lined up to one side. So you've created a three-man surface. 2023 film, Laporta digging down on the defensive tackle and allowing the left tackle, Penei Sewell, playing left tackle here, to work to the front side edge defender. Huge running lane. When you get the end zone angle, you'll be amazed at how big the lane is to run through. That's the defensive tackle that's being wham or trap blocked by Laporta here. And then additional to that, the center is going to work up to the front side inside linebacker. I think it's 44. You can see Sewell on the edge defender, center Ragnow on the front side inside linebacker. Laporta's down block, trap block on the defensive tackle, hugely effective. And in this case, Gibbs from a same side run standpoint, downhill, big lane to run through. No defenders at all in the area initially to stop his flow at the point of attack. Another version of a trap concept. This is a wham trap, but it's on the backside D tackle. So the block will be executed by Pat Ricard, who's kind of looking in that direction to identify the player that he's going to block. And what it allows Gus Edwards to do is to get on that midline, kind of like I referred to about Kenneth Walker III on the failed Seahawks trap from under center, and then veer off to the right, off the series of down blocks by everyone else. Now this one, since it's wham trap, it's allowing the center to work up to the front side inside linebacker, a little bit unusual. Ricard to pin down and trap this defensive tackle. And what they're usually trying to do on the backside of this is you're usually trying to get the left tackle to work up to this linebacker here and then trap the backside D end with the left guard, hence the name triple trap by some people. It's not necessarily how it works out. It is still a successful play for Gus Edwards and the Ravens from 2023. You can see the timing of it. The timing usually on trap is you're getting the trap block a little bit after the ball was handed off. In this case, Ricard is there right in time with the handoff to Gus Edwards. Trap concept, a really beautiful play, aesthetically pleasing, if you ask me. Another variation of it that I still think is amazing. It again harkens back to Ben Johnson and the way he calls plays. This is a 3rd and 5 against the Bears, 2022, I believe, and St. Brown is going to get the ball on a shovel trap. Trapping that defensive tackle with 73. The defensive tackle gets upfield. Really doesn't necessarily need to be blocked here. St. Brown on the shovel trap. So it technically goes down as a pass reception since it's a forward pass. But it's a trap concept, so we're still talking about run blocking, even though it's a forward pass. Able to do it because the ball is caught behind the line of scrimmage, number one. Number two, none of the offensive linemen are downfield as the ball is being caught because while it is a forward pass, it's behind the line of scrimmage and it occurs very quickly. There's the defensive tackle that's being trapped. He's being trapped by 73. Watch, you can actually see 73 looking back at Goff, but also kind of staring at 90 for a moment. Make sure, okay, that's the guy that I'm going to block. Really nice job by the right guard here, 63, to kind of dig out this inside linebacker get him out of the play such that St. Brown can cut underneath of that kick out block by Jackson, or what would be a kick out block if that defensive tackle hadn't run himself upfield. A lot of different versions or variations of trap. Influence trap will be the last one. It's not successful here really at all. It's a great play by Patrick Queen against the Cincinnati Bengals in 2023. When I say influence trap, so we're talking about the guy being trapped is Justin, or now known as Nnamdi Madubuike. He's going to be kicked out by the left guard, but the other guard is stepping out as well. So he's going to step this way to hopefully influence this defensive tackle and maybe even this inside linebacker to move in that direction if he is, like most inside linebackers, reading the guards. Patrick Queen's kind of messing with their blocking rules here, if you ask me. I think he knows something is up. Steps to the left and then jumps underneath of the potential down block by the right tackle. Look at Madubuike's reaction, 92. When the guard pulls, he's stepping out. So when we say influence trap, this guard stepping out is what is influencing Nnamdi Madubuike, to step to his left, our left on the screen, and potentially open himself up even more for the trap concept. Influence trap is beautiful. It's nasty. It's borderline evil. In this case, Patrick Queen is able to make a mockery of it. Beautiful play behind the line of scrimmage. A great read from a boundary side inside linebacker standpoint. I love the trap concept. As an aside, in prepping for high school football games over the years, I don't coach anymore, but when I did coach consistently, we would always look at teams, and one of the first questions we asked was, do they run trap? Because if they did not, we knew we could steal time for our defensive tackles that week, steal individual drill time, steal practice time to allow them to work on other concepts, whether it's stunts, blitzes, run stunts. In any case, here's one more version of an inside linebacker destroying a trap concept. It's a great play by, I think it's Jalen Smith. Used to play with the Dallas Cowboys and then the Giants, and I think he's now back in the NFL, at least for a camp signee right now. Fantastic read on the backside of a wham trap concept. I'll give you the end zone angle so you can see how great of a play this is. So there's the initial blocking scheme, the two traps by the right guard and the left guard, stepping to their left, our right on the screen. And then the center and the left tackle are working up. This is the matchup right here. That is a win for the Giants on this play because of the commitment and the recognition of 54 and the block destruction. Two-hand swat / slap, and then stepping over with power. He gets his left hip cleared right here, since that left hip is cleared, and he's pushing off in a timely fashion with his right foot, meaning timed up with the two-hand swat. He's able to clear it and get there where he shouldn't be according to the way the scheme is drawn up on paper. I love the trap concept, whether it's wham trap, influence trap, or under center. I recognize that it's not a beautiful pass play, but the intricacy of the blocking scheme, while it is simple, when it is executed, particularly the wham trap version, is a heck of a lot of fun to watch for me. I've probably dedicated too much time to the concept and said the word trap way too often in the last 2 or 3 weeks, but it is one of my favorite concepts to watch in football. And hopefully if you checked out this video and the others, it is one of yours at this point as well.